Get ready for an amazing car build, the likes of which you've never seen before. The team from Mother's Polish is adding another vehicle to its already impressive fleet of hot rods and customs. It's the ultimate Chevy muscle car, a 70s Chevelle SS. But this time, it's going green.
Muscle car guy can be environmentally friendly. We believe this is doable, and we're going to prove it.
Powered by propane and requiring a team of international proportions. It's Mother's. It's a one-off Chevelle. It's burning clean and it's moving fast. All here today on Hot Rod TV. Coming your way right now.
And the only pollution that this will leave behind is the 2 black stripes on the pavement.
When you think about it, nothing says cool ride and clean machine quite like a great car polish. That's why the big build we're about to see makes a lot of sense. Mother's Polish. They're bringing together the classic and the clean. The goal? Build a one-of-a-kind 1970 Chevelle, powered by propane. Jim Holloway's the man with the big plan here at Mother's. He's made cool cars for the company before, but none quite like this. The build starts with a Chevy once owned by his late father.
And you know, it's held a special place in my heart, and now it's time to do something special with it.
So while the donor car itself means a lot to Jim personally, Holloway also knows that the finished ride will have something to say to hot rodders everywhere.
I think really the whole goal behind all this whole propane venture is to show people that we can make some big horsepower and have a lot of fun without burning gasoline. When we make wax, we're getting solvents cut out, so let's cut out the fuel and see what we can do with propane. This particular 1970 Chevelle project is kind of my vision for the future of hot rodding.
Well, this old muscle car could never guess what Jim and the gang have in store for it. It's going to be a high-tech build, but this team will still be using all the regular car guy gear. Stuff like welders and grinders. In addition to all that, they'll also hook up this Chevelle with some space-age technology. Procedures that are absolutely state-of-the-art. It'll start with a one-off chassis, being built with a process called Rapid Design System.
The ability to fixture, tool, hold, weld, measure, all in one step.
The old systems with the flat tables, designing fixtures, that becomes your job. Where with this, the fixture is your adjustable tool to use while you are developing. And the time savings are immense. I'm talking what takes a month and a half, you do in about a week or less. One procedure that takes a day, you do in about a half an hour.
That's great news, because within the short span of the 3-month build, they'll need all the time-saving tools they can get. This crew knows the clock is ticking. It's a team of some of the top guys in the business. Together, this bunch can do anything.
Everybody's strong in their own, but collectively, give me a budget and we'll build a space shuttle.
There's a lot up ahead, and most of it is all about what's under the hood.
The focus of this is not necessarily body mods at all. It's about the powertrain and the fuel supply.
We wanted to show the people of the world that the muscle car guy can be environmentally friendly. We believe this is doable, and we're going to prove it.
So we're starting with a cool old Chevelle, and we have a cool team to match. Old Brothers Design will utilize every high-tech trick in the book to create an amazing base for this car. And as we're thrilled to see some of the early structure come together, we have to tell ourselves, just wait until they build the real chassis. A month later, the finished chassis arrives, and it's like no structure under any other 70s Chevelle you can find.
Since then, with the infusion of technology via Faro and Unigraphics and the Rapid Line Design System, we're able to virtually redesign this whole thing about 5 times to come up with what we're looking at today.
Yes, Johnny O and his team did it until it was right. That's going to be the case regarding every aspect of this car. It all has to be perfect if it's going to present the best of this new technology. Of course, much of the focus will be on the engine, a powerhouse that in many ways will deliver less.
In this application, we're running about 30% less hydrocarbons, 87% less carbon monoxide, 90% less nitrogen oxides, 10% less carbon dioxide, less methane, and the big thing is 92% less particulate. So, why not choose propane?
And there's another great reason to use it.
Propane is 105 octane, and that octane rating helps power.
And speaking of power, let's check back in with our propane professor, Jim Holloway.
The horsepower rating on the car is about 1.9 horsepower per cubic inch. It's 527 cubic inches of purpose-built small block with a GM splayed valve head.
Now, if some of that math isn't all that clear, just remember this: the car is gonna scream. Or for yet another version of the facts, here's Paul with a staggering set of numbers.
We expect somewhere in the vicinity of about 11 to 1,200 horsepower. On propane, that is unheard of. Nobody's ever done it before.
And that's without turbochargers or superchargers. It'll be a naturally aspirated small block Chevy with over 1,000 horsepower. Yeah, it's a safe bet that nobody has done any of this before. But we do have one question. How do we fill it up?
This is a liquid propane car, so we can fill up at any truck stop, any propane venue. We can actually carry spare fuel cells with us for onboard refueling.
That's good, because they're gonna need a lot of propane if they're gonna cook all this meat.
That is our stance right there.
Yeah, I think with a 10-point roll cage, a 9-second car, you better have some sort of restraints.
Jim, that's a pretty good idea. And the car isn't the only thing that's gonna be going fast.
Oh, we got a lot of weeks to go.
Yeah.
About 8.
Yep. Yeah, we have 50 weeks crammed into 8.
The Chevelle's name is Propane. And in the next 8 weeks, this ride is gonna earn that name. Stick around. This is Hot Rod TV. We're back with a lot more Hot Rod TV. A propane-powered 1970s Chevelle is being built cool and amazing by Mother's Polish. Jim Holloway is in charge of the build, and he's put together one talented team. They've come a long way, but they still have a mountain of work ahead of them. It's called Project Propane, and builder Paul Gonzalez is working with O Brothers Design, Chip Foose, a one-of-a-kind engine crew from New Zealand, and interior specialist Jim Griffin.
He said it had a totally green chassis and the car was silver, and I'm like, green and silver together with a red interior? Come on. I finally figured out that it was actually just an eco-safe car. This car is so sanitary and clean looking outside. I love the white on it. It's not pearl, it's not fancy, it's just white. It's a very unusual paint job on this car, and it's going to be striking. Till they fire it up, and then everybody's gonna run.
And here's the reason for that. It's finally arrived, all the way from New Zealand.
The trip was a long one, but here it is. Hague Blocks down under New Zealand, our friends down there, they did the development on this and the testing. As a matter of fact, this thing was still hot when they put it in the box before they sent it to us. Well, the best thing about the propane is that you're allowed to run higher compression. Compression equals power, no matter how you slice it. I mean, most engines you have to detune for street use because of lack of octane in the fuel. So propane helps fill that void.
Yeah, it's a scary engine, but not nearly as scary as the deadline. Time is already running out.
We've got about a week to go. We're into the exhaust fabrication and design right now for this engine installation. The electrical's sorted out, the interior's coming together, the drivetrain and suspension is sorted out, so it's just a matter of hammering at it and away we go.
Well, that might sound easy, but here's the problem. It's like the frog said, it isn't easy being green, especially when you want to run in the 9s. Meanwhile, it seems there's going to be some spelling changes around this place. The name will be taking a pain reliever.
The project name was Project Mean Green. Then it was such a pain in the you-know-what, we developed this word in the back called propane. And then we got to thinking a little bit, it would be nice to tie the fuel name in instead of relating how much pain we're going through building this.
Do not try this at home. If you do, you'll be suffering an insurmountable amount of pain. It's going to be a rush. You know, everybody here is beginning, you know, very little sleep. It's always gets that way to the end when you have so many complex parts. There's a lot of things about this car that are different.
A lot of things are different. Heck, everything's different.
In the back, we have the fuel cell going in there, and we know we were waiting for the fuel sensor to come in, and that was a concern because we're real close in clearance.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm not kidding you.
It's one of those love-hate projects. It's a really, really cool project. Honored to be a part of it, but it is just, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. It's a true test of skill right here.
Well, basically what we have here is we have the major components for the propane delivery system. We have, right here, we have from Prins, we have the regulators, which regulate the fuel flow going to the engine. They take it from high pressure from the tank to low for the engine. We have a vent box that is supposed to go over the valves to protect it, and these need to be vented if this is inside the car. That's what this is all about. And the valves, which are these, and the control solenoids, they go in these ports in the tank right here, inside the holes. And we have fuel sending. This is an integral sender that is basically brand new technology that uses a different type of reading in the fuel that is not like a float. And we have a fill port, which is designed to go into the back bumper. So when you flip the license plate down, you take this little thing off of here, this is basically all you see. That's where the fuel goes from here into the tank.
And it's not just any propane tank. This one has a real pedigree, having traveled quite a ways to get here.
Standard propane cells that we have here in America used in barbecues are out of steel. This is an extruded aluminum component supplied to us by Performance Propane Industries out of New Zealand, manufactured by Thiokol. As you can tell, it's pretty unique in its own. It's got little fuel cells in here that are chambered to house the liquid propane, then turns into a gas as it flows down the tube and hits the injection inside the motor.
As far as the tank is concerned, the reason why it's so large is because propane is liquid and a gas. They have to share the same space. So consequently, the tank needs to be oversized to accommodate the extra gas and liquid in capacity. So even though the tank looks large, its true capacity is about 17 gallons. And the whole back structure has been modified to accept not one of these, but two.
This team is throwing everything into this car, including all of their racing knowledge.
Jimmy's an avid racer, so he's got good input on road racing. Paul's into drag racing, I'm into road racing, so we've taken every avenue and thrown something in here.
Jim and the guys are doing a great job on the interior, but we're getting ready to put the motor and gearbox together soon and start working on getting it in the car.
That's a great plan because we are entering a major thrash time. See it all happen when we return with more Hot Rod TV. We're back with the blood, sweat, and tears going into this new Chevelle for Mother's Polish.
If you look on the back of the car, right on the top corner over there, there's a little spot of blood. If you look down on the carpet right underneath where Jim's working so hard, he's probably dropped a bead of sweat. And last night I was crying all night long, so I swear to God, every car there's blood, sweat, and tears.
This one has more than its fair share. It's a propane-powered muscle car, and builder Paul Gonzalez has been working on it for many weeks, day after day after day.
Yeah, there's no new day. It's all one continuous day and has been from almost day one.
The car's gonna run green and healthy, but healthy is hardly the attitude during a thrash.
I had a handful of Advil, 2 rock stars, half a pot of coffee, and one of those berry Danishes from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's a typical diet when the thrash mentality kicks in. It's that special time when only a handful of priorities can occupy your life. It's a very short list.
Eat when you can, sleep when you can, build this car. Right now I'm just getting ready to start doing the assembly of the suspension. Got some pieces back. We were in mock-up previously, and now we're ready to start assembling.
It's all about the details. This is the stage when that idea really kicks in, and many of these details are hardly small matters.
Cleaning out the holes from powder coat, and we had to make some slight changes on the motor plate. Nothing that a little loving with a hammer and a drill can't fix.
I think the engineering's amazing. The technology that's going into it's amazing. The deadline's a little crazy. I mean, we plan on being here for 5 days and we've been here for 9.
This is actually a reality TV show. And we're the people that are getting pranked on it. Us upholsterers and us assemblers. And this guy right here, Paul and Jim, they're some rich, eccentric producers, and there's cameras around in here. They're, you know, who's the fool? That's what I want to know.
You can believe it, there's like $3,000 worth of stainless hardware on this car.
Yeah, this ride is full of surprises, and soon one of those surprises will be walking into this shop. He's a man who's worked with Jim Griffin many times before.
Well, did you know that there was someone pretty famous involved in the interior? Well, he doesn't come around very often. His drawings hanging around. You may have seen it. It's a pencil line by Mr. Foose. Do you know that name?
He's a designer, a builder, and most importantly of all, at this very moment, he's here, checking out the progress and hoping to bring order into some of this sleep-deprived chaos. Having sketched out the original plan months ago, Chip sees that the car is coming along in spite of a few incidents of erratic behavior.
Nothing in between. Shiny.
Well, the hope was that Foose would stabilize matters, but as it sometimes is with Chip, his presence has the opposite effect as he dives right in and joins the fun. But don't let the anarchy fool you. This team is serious when it comes to finishing this car.
They gotta be perfect. Especially if you're working for my dad.
How many days do we have?
Thursday.
All the parts are sitting in the other room ready to be bolted.
When's it leaving here?
Thursday.
By the way, today is Tuesday. They're going to need some special magic to make this happen in time. And Jim, that's a very nice trick, but we're going to need a little more than that. Coming up, even at this late stage, there's still discussion about the look of the car.
You don't want the sinister look. The sinister look is by the design of the components and the way the car is going to sit. But the design scheme, the paint scheme, is just how clean can we make this look? How simple can we make it look? Because you don't want it to look complicated either. As complicated as it is, when you see this all together and finished, it's going to look like a very simple car.
Get ready for a blinding shine as Mother's Polish gets ready to polish off this build. Here on Hot Rod TV. We're back with Hot Rod TV and Propane. That's the clean-running Chevy built thanks to a crew assembled by Jim Holloway of Mother's Polish.
Well, what Jim's done here is he's put together an international team to put this together. You got Peter and his group down in New Zealand building the motor. You got Johnny doing the chassis. You got Paul's group doing the body, and you got Jim here from Oregon doing the interior, and another Huntington Beach guy doing some sketches and design work for it.
Propane has been a bit of a pain, but Chip says years from now, it'll all be worth it.
Not only is everybody here building a car, but they're building relationships. You know, when this thing's done and gone, 5 years from now, they'll still be getting together talking about this project. That's what makes these a lot of fun.
With this car, the team has a message for hot rodders everywhere.
They have an alternative fuel source and choice and can make power at the same time. They don't know it's available. So that's jaw-dropping, I think.
So mothers will educate them. And the only pollution that this will leave behind is the 2 black stripes on the pavement.
And look who's here from down under. It's our engine team from Hay, having traveled all the way from New Zealand.
I left at 5 o'clock today, but I got here before I left. To work that one out.
These guys know all about propane, a fuel that's been used in New Zealand for decades.
You get back that muscle car bite. You know, when you hit the throttle, you wait to hear this thing run. It just sounds like the old days, if you like. It just barks, the car kicks. It's all there.
All in all, this has been quite a ride.
16 weeks from engineering to completion.
And completion for this machine means that it's ready for the annual Hot Rod Power Tour. That's the massive party where some hardcore muscle car enthusiasts will get a peek at what just might be the future of the hobby. And for builders like Paul Gonzalez, there's a very specific mission at hand. It's a statement that says you can have it both ways. Those who want to explore alternative fuels don't need to sacrifice classic style.
We want to be able to show people that it's time for the new phase of hot rodding and muscle cars. That coupled with the green theory of the car and the waterborne paints and the rest of the project, it just stands to reason that people will be very impressed by the total result.
It all came together thanks to an incredible build team using gear from industry champs such as Dynamat, Magnaflow, and Royal Purple. It's folks like that who made it all happen.
We've had lots of people come in and just want to help any way they can, just to be a part of this. This has been an exciting, amazing adventure.
And the adventure continues as we get ready to start it all up for the crowd. Okay, guys, let's hit it.
The side benefit to this suspension package and chassis package is it's going to be available for other people to purchase, along with fuel conversion.
Yeah, we're working on development of new products this is a hybrid, but we're making a frame that's a direct roll under. And also we're doing conversion analyzation with both propane and other alternative fuels.
So as the groundbreaking propane hits the road, just remember, there will probably be more and more surprises under those car hoods in the very near future. After all, that engine compartment just might be a lot greener than you can even imagine. There it is, old school and new age in the same cool package. With that, we're out of here, knowing we'll see you next time, right here on Hot Rod TV.